Welcome to Nigeria, Africa's most populous country, but sadly the tuberculosis capital of the continent. We knew that for sure in 2012 when the country conducted her first population survey to ascertain the true TB burden. The findings were startling. First, we found a huge tuberculosis burden that had been underestimated. The burden was at least twice of previous WHO estimates for the country, and it showed that most of the people were missing out on care. In fact, the survey showed that for every one person correctly diagnosed and treated for tuberculosis, there were 6 others that missed out completely on care and possibly still transmitting. In 2020, for example, we expected to find 450,000 newly occurring TB cases. But actually, by the end of the year, we had found and treated about 130,000, representing only 30% of the true TB burden. So with 70% of our newly occurring cases missing out on care, Nigeria will continue to struggle to achieve the objectives of the NTB strategy, which is to end tuberculosis as a public health challenge in the country. Importantly, the survey also revealed a strong gender pattern to the TB burden in our country. First, more men were affected by TB. Men faced longer delays in accessing care for TB. And again, 2/3 of the entire pool of the missed people with TB were men. In other words, of every 3 people with TB who were missed, 2 were men. It is therefore possible that most of the transmissions of TB within households and within communities could likely be traceable to men. And the evidence around interventions that are gender equitable to account for the challenges of men and women was very thin. And this is where the LIGHT Consortium comes in. Our research in Nigeria is titled Development and Evaluation of Gender-Sensitive Interventions for Nigerian Communities. We first seek to understand what the issues are with men's access to care. We do this qualitatively, in-depth interviews, focused discussions, key informant interviews with community men and women, men in informal workplaces, formal workplaces, and with stakeholders. Then the crux of the PhD is to then sit down with key stakeholders and co-create gender-sensitive interventions that can overcome the gender-specific barriers being faced by men and women in communities. Finally, we hope to take this intervention so created to the field in the form of an implementation trial. We believe that by not targeting men with bespoke, contextually relevant interventions, we inadvertently put women, children, and in fact other men at significantly greater risk of TB, which is why we hope to generate this evidence. At the end of the PhD, we are hoping that the evidence will inform local policy for Nigeria and other similar contexts that are struggling with a huge pool of missed TB cases. But for me, I'm hoping that the findings will make a real impact in the lives of men, husbands, brothers, grandfathers, our partners, and uncles who continue to suffer needlessly from this curable disease. And also women who bear the greater burden of caring when TB strikes the household, and the countless children whose future may be blighted from TB they may have contracted from any of their parents. We hope that by generating this evidence, we can move the curve and accelerate the country on its path towards ending tuberculosis as a public health challenge. Thank you.